Hey, what's up? This is CC from Black Veil Brides. I think my job in Black Veil Brides, besides, the obvious, being the percussive force in the band, I think I bring the humor to the guys. So, definitely lighten the mood. I'm the jovial, happy-go-lucky guy, always making people laugh and just doing stupid shenanigans every night, running around naked in the snow, just doing dumb stuff all the time. And I think that's definitely my role. We have different characteristics with, everybody else, like the sexy one, the leader, and all that stuff. And I think I'm more of the class clown, if you will, out of the band, making everybody laugh and having a good time, screaming when I'm drunk and doing all that stuff. It's kind of natural, to be honest. I don't feel like I have to do that by any means. I just feel like that's my natural personality, and I think everyone has their own unique personality in the band. And it's not like it's a needed thing. It's not like the band would crumble without humor and laughter. But it's definitely who I am, and it lightens the mood. And It's great, but sometimes it sucks because anytime anyone wants to go out, I'm the go-to guy. So it's like every single night, it's like, Cece, what are you doing? Oh man, I just went out last night. Well, you got to come out again tonight, And so it's like I'm always requested to go out and hang out with the dudes, which I'm okay with. But if we go out drinking and then you do that like 3 days in a row, by the third day, I'm kind of out of jokes and stuff. So. No, I don't know any jokes. See, that's the thing, is I just act like a jackass and everyone laughs. I'm just like the clown. So, yeah, I really don't. There's one joke that I remember. I can't even say it right. I'm going to butcher it. My tour manager told me like 3 years ago when I was drunk, and I remember this one for some reason. I can't even say it, man. Pirate walks into a bar. He's got a steering wheel on his crotch, and the bartender goes, "Hey, man, what's that wheel for?" The pirate goes, "It's for driving me nuts." It's the stupidest jokes. The difference between the two albums and working with both producers, I think it was almost a matter of control. And I think working with John Feldman, I'm very happy with the way the record came out, but working with him, it was very controlled, and it was almost like I wasn't, I don't even know exactly how to word it. It was just such a controlled environment. I didn't really have the freedom to do a lot of the stuff, which, we had a very specific idea for that record, and it was a concept record, and so a lot of like my drum fills and drum patterns and stuff just didn't fit in with it. And so when you get shot down with a bunch of ideas, creatively, and while you're doing a record, you kind of lose your passion for that project or album or whatever it might be. And so during that period, it was a tough time for me because we were going for the more four on the floor and coming out of Set the World on Fire. I was allowed to do a lot of like double bass stuff and a lot of crazier fills and more metal-esque type things. And then, with Wretched and Divine, it was more pop, which, the transition at the time was rough for me. But now, obviously I'm happy with the way the album came out. As compared to that process, compared to working with Bob Rock, he kind of was I was just like, oh, well, like I try to play for whatever the song calls for. And so there would be certain songs I'll be like, well, I'm going to do 4 on the floor here. And, he'd be like, why? Why not do crazy shit? And you know what I mean? And so he completely allowed all of us to do whatever we wanted, and then kind of from that would go, steer us in a certain direction, whereas just like saying, nope, we're not going to do that, try that, try this, whereas he would allow us to get all the ideas out and then maybe build from there. And so the process, I think, was a lot more constructive creatively for all of us, and instead of being so controlled, we kind of had some room to breathe. I think it was just, as far as material on this record compared to the other records, I think it was just allowing to do stuff, having the songs with the double kick and, having the heavier, almost metal sounding songs. And then also on the same record, having the almost melancholy ballads. I mean, I think that's what every good album should have. It should take you on a, like a roller coaster of emotion, and you could relate to a certain song, when you're depressed or, you're going through some heartbreak or trials and tribulations, and then you could have that ass kicker song when you're in traffic on the 101 and, you're sitting there for 2 hours. That's just an LA thing. I don't even know how traffic is out here. But I mean, like all my favorite records, that's how it is. They have, something from column A, something from column B, and something from column C, and, it's this whole collective effort. And so with this album, I think we achieved that, and I was allowed, like I was saying, I was allowed to do some of the more metal drumming that, that's a lot of fun to play live, as well as, some of the more laid-back studio stuff that just makes for a good song. And so I think we did a great job on this album, kind of getting all of those ideas in. See, that's another difference between the album, as far as, not even speaking creatively anymore, just personally between the inner band member relationships, like that, we were all on different pages, for a couple days, like Jake and Jinx wouldn't even come in the studio on the last album. And now the fourth album, we were all excited to be there. We were excited to be there. We were excited to hang out. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Do you want to, you want to go out to dinner? You want to go for drinks? Like, let's talk about this. Whereas the other one, this record didn't feel so much as a chore, and I hate to use that word because it's music and we love what we're doing. But for me personally, I mean, the vibe on this record is leaps and bounds beyond any other record. Like, we're all getting along as best friends again. We're instead of like hanging out with other friends, we're calling each other, and then we'll be out and talking ideas about, whatever stage setups or, songs or set lists that we were gonna play live, on tour. I think Andy's range definitely grew dramatically. I mean, I definitely see him, we have some screaming on this album and we have some higher notes, and I think we went from, I don't know, I just think he has a bigger range, and I think, like most improved player, it would probably be Andy, because not that he was bad on any other album, and I think he was incredible, but I mean, he definitely has increased his range, and Bob did a good job of pushing him this record, and so he used some different recording techniques as far as wearing in-ear monitors in the studio. He had speakers that they did on the Black album, so he got more of a live environment, got, maybe it got some adrenaline flowing and making him take some good takes, so I think that he definitely improved, and I think it shows on the album. Hey, what's up? This is CC from Black Veil Brides. Thank you so much for the interview, AP. We are on the cover of issue number 317, so go pick that up now.